All right. Test.
Teens should be trained in media literacy and limit their screen time. Psychologists say in new guidelines. So I guess there's some bipartisan efforts out there to try to put limitations on children's ages to get into for social media, that they'll need some type of parental approvals. I think it's under 13, if I caught that correctly. Yeah, you have to be at least 13 years of age. A bipartisan group of senators introduced legislation that would require social media users to be at least 13 years old and mandate parental consent for users ages 13 to 17 for social media because of how damaging it could be and blah, 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 blah. So,
may I?
Yeah. Yes. Should the government get involved here, or should parents teach their kids? Or I understand it's hard to monitor. Very difficult. Go ahead.
There are so many different things going on in this country and in this world to fucking worry about than for these old shit stains in Washington to tell parents how to parent. Mm-hmm. Do your fucking job. There's so many different things that are on your plate that you're choosing to ignore so you can tell people how to live their lives. Fuck you. Do your job. Let parents do theirs. Okay. Whether my opinion on a child should watch for this long or that long doesn't matter. That's not the point.
Well, that's actually why the people in UK tune in. They're looking for parental advice.
Right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That
come to the wrong show.
No, but you're right. That's the equivalent. These old guys in Washington telling American parents how to parent their children is like somebody coming to us and listening to us on fucking advice.
Fair enough.
It's the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. They don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Parent your goddamn kids the way you want to. That's what I got.
Yeah. What do you think, Nick?
I disagree wholeheartedly. I think it's a brilliant idea because I agree with what you're saying. And from what I understand, even though there may be that's an age restriction for someone to sign up on their own, is it not?
I believe
you said without parental consent.
Correct.
So I like that a lot because the thing is, and I get what you're saying, and I do agree with it in a sense, but I'm thinking of that in a way of us and our kids. I'm thinking of kids that don't have parental guidance, people looking out for them, and that are on.
I don't care about those kids.
There's a lot of kids, and I'd say it's a growing number all the time. I mean, just having my wife that works in the schools, you hear a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Maybe they should be born in better families.
The types of things they go home to, what they're not getting at home, maybe that they're left to their own devices, maybe that they don't often see an adult when they go home. I mean, at very young ages.
Yeah.
I think it's very
I don't see an adult right now.
I think it's very important to put things like that in place because there's a lot of shit out there and there's very few restrictions on it. Mm-hmm. And kids are already growing up faster and faster all the time. And I think it can be damaging to kids. I mean, as far as the types of things that they can see, the types of things they can get into without having any guidance or proper guidance.
You make a good point.
I do.
Okay.
From my aspect, if somebody was like, hey, even though you say it's okay for your 11-year-old to get on social media, the government says they can't because they're 13, I don't like that.
Correct.
But if they have my consent as an adult and they can verify who I am, absolutely.
If that is the case, you make a good point. Yeah. You've convinced me. If that is the case, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes. What you had said about kids that don't have parental guidance. I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of parents too that you raise a good point. I mean, you're right. You got a parent.
Yeah.
This, I think, it sounds like it puts a little bit of guardrails on this a little bit to help you, hopefully, if you're paying fucking attention to where your kid says, hey, I'm trying to get on TikTok, and you might be like, hey, wait. how are you able to find this and get on there to begin with? What is, I've heard, there's some parents don't even know what it is.
Right.
I guarantee.
And there's a lot of great stuff on TikTok. Funny stuff, encouraging stuff, positive stuff. There's a lot. It's just on it's anywhere on the internet. There's a lot of great stuff.
We're on TikTok.
There's a lot of shitty things on TikTok too. Great segue.
At Convincing Idiots.
But there's a lot of positivity out there. There's a lot of people doing things. I mean, spreading. I mean, even right now, we've talked about the Arnold Schwarzenegger podcast. That's his positive corner of the internet, as he calls it.
Sometimes
10 minutes a day.
Nick gets out there and spreads da-da-da-da-da-da.
AIDS.
Did you just see that shit? If you liked what you saw, like and subscribe. Come back. You're going to want to.